Thank you so much for clicking the thumbnail and being interested in my work. In this video I share with you my techniques and tips on how to achieve freckles. So stick with it right through till the end, because here and there I'll slow it down so you can take a closer look. So let's dive in and take a look. Right, just freehanding the actual area I'll be working on. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I want to get straight into the freckles, because that's what it's about. But what I not normally do is do an under drawing, and I use the basic primary colours and a secondary colour which is green. The reason I use the green is to neutralise the red, so if the red's too vivid it'll calm it down or it'll make a shadow of the red, so it's ideal for skin tones. If you want to know more detail about how I achieved the underdrawing and then putting the richer colours, just check out one of my other videos in my channel, then I'll go through all that, what I tend to do, the procedure. Right, so before I start putting the freckles in, I've just got to put a little bit more finesse into the drawing, so I'm using these colours here, plus the candy ash colours which are quite rich, which will give that vibrancy. I've put an inset photograph there now on view, so you can see the actual finished drawing when it's finished. It's good to actually compare from where I am now as I'm drawing to where it will be at the finished stage. Now when I draw in freckles, what I use is these two colours here, which is the red and the olive green. Now put the red in first, and then to desaturate the red, because it's a complementary colour, I'm using the green, which will grey it down, so it'll make it less vibrant. So I tend to sort of put it in the red first, because then if I made a mistake I can easily use white and you got your flesh colour again. So it's best to do that using the colours what you've already put in the flesh tone, because if you went straight in with brown, if you made a mistake it makes it look muddy, then it's very hard to get back, make it look natural around it. But if you make a mistake when you're using the similar colour to what you're mixing in your skin tone, it's a lot easier, because it's all sort of relative, it's all sort of belongs with each other, and that's what makes it really subtle. So what I'm using is the white to create texture and then glazing over the top around these freckles. So I'm going over with the white, just little specks here and there, and then just glaze with red, blue or yellow, or the complementary colours. Now it's really important to note that I'm not pressing on really hard on these. It's very, very light pigment I'm putting on. I'm building it up very slowly in layers. If you go straight in there heavy, you won't get the subtleties, because it'll all be sort of bogged down with colour and pigment. You need to sort of keep it light and build it up slowly but surely. If you're enjoying this video, why not subscribe? It's absolutely free, then you're sure not to miss any future videos. Now, a tip here when you're doing these, mapping out these freckles, is to keep your reference image quite small so you see it all at once, so you're not blowing it up trying to get every detail, else you'll lose your way. So if you can see the overall thing and just open your heart, let go of the mind, and just let the movement just happen. The more you let go of trying to control this, the more it will just be spontaneous and free flowing. And if you notice here, I'm not putting all the details in then moving on. I'll go back to these later on in this video and put more detail in, so stick with it, because there's a lot more subtleties I'm going to be putting in, but that will be later on in the video. I'm just mapping everything out first and then build it up slowly but surely. Now with skin, it's very important to get that texture, because skin is not smooth. It's actually got quite a lot of different sort of subtleties in it, little marks and dints and all sorts of things. So what you have to do is just use your white and just do swiggles little spots here and here, just little different marks, and then just glaze over the top. So it's a case of just put your marks in, glazing, put your marks in, glazing, so it's backwards and forwards till you get it right. Now, just to let you know, this drawing will be on my Patreon page as a step-by-step real-time audio, real-time video, about an hour and a half long. But what I do is I talk you through how I do it step by step. So it's worth checking that out. To find out more, the link is in the description below. Now, this is quite an interesting subject to do as well, because the light is very subtle. It's partly in shade, and there's the daylight as well shining on the skin, so there's quite a lot of reflected light in the shadows, and it's really interesting to try and achieve this. Now, you have to be really patient with this technique, because it does take a while to build up, because you're forever putting that white in, glazing, putting the white in, glazing, until it becomes what you're looking for and the actual subtlety you're looking for. But it's well worth keep persevering, because it's surprising what sort of texture you can get and sort of aliveness you can get by using the primaries and secondary. If you're finding value in this video, why not give it a like and share it with your friends? It would mean a lot to me, because this would actually help the channel to grow. Right, I've slowed things down here so you can take a closer look. So it's just a case of using that Carandy Ash white, just to sort of put that sort of them highlights in that texture. And then what I'm doing then with the edge of the freckles there is using the red, then the green together, then putting some lemon yellow, which gives it that sort of transparency look to it. It seems to. You just got to play about with different colours. So sometimes you might need a bit of blue to make it more purpley, and sometimes a bit of yellow, because with Freckles they're not just a blob of colour. There's so many different subtleties. There's bits of greens, bits of purples, bits of oranges in there, so you've got to try and replicate that by just being very, very subtle with how you put the colours in. And just to repeat what I mentioned earlier, really don't put heavy pastel in, just very, very light marks. Keep it light and just keep building up layer after layer, and then you get all these like rainbow colours, subtleties. It's like marble, in fact. It's just so many different variations of shades that you're creating by just doing these very, very light colours. It's well worth taking your time and just persevering with it. Right, so you can see again that I'm putting the red in there, just marking up, mapping everything out, and then putting the textures in there around the red. And then once I'm happy where the placement is, just go over with the green, so then go over with the Carbothello white, which will soften it for you. Now here's the eyelashes I'm putting in, just to show you that I use blue first, then I go over with the brown, and then black. Reason being is, if you go straight in with black and you made a mistake, it just makes a mess of all your skin tone. So if you put your blue in first and you find that you need to move it, there's no problem, because there's blue in that skin tone, so it just melts into it. So really suggest using blue, then brown, then black, so you're building it up. So it's a really good idea to do that. For longer, slower and more in-depth videos, please join me on Patreon. Link is in the description below. Now what I'm doing here is putting them very subtle different shade variations within the actual freckles, but around the freckles as well. The skin has got like little shiny bits glistening, you know, so the pores, you know, so you've just got to try and draw those pores in by just using the white, and then just keep glazing over the top. Now here there's a few freckles, but it's hardly noticeable, very faint. So just put a very small little bit of dust of pastel and mix it that way. And what I use is the Carbothello white and go over with that, and that sort of blends it in with it as well, so it sort of merges them together. So rather than using my finger on these little subtle ones, it's just a matter of just using your Carbothello white, just slightly going over it, and it just softens it. Now it's a good idea to keep looking into a mirror and seeing the reflection of it. So if you stand with the back towards the picture and the mirror, so you're looking over your shoulder so you can see the reflection, it gives you another perspective, so it brings out imperfections that needs to be sorted. So I do that a lot at this stage, and just keep an open view of it now and just try and get the correct value by squinting your eyes, so you're just altering things here and there to get the balance. Here's the finished study at the correct angle. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching the video right through to the end. If you found value in it and you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Appreciate it, would help the channel. Leave a comment and a message in the comments below. Let me know what sort of videos you want me to produce. I've actually left a couple of links here for you to click on, and to subscribe, click on the circle here. It's absolutely free, and then you're sure not to miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much, take care and be well.